Welcome to the Texas Wine Scene Podcast, the most up-to-date information to help you prepare for your wine tasting weekend. I'm Mike, your Texas Wine Scene correspondent, bringing you all the wine happenings in and around the great state of Texas, from the high plains to the hill country. If you love Texas wine, you've come to the right place. Let's take a trip. Welcome back, everyone, to the Texas Wine Scene Podcast. I'm your host, your Texas Wine Scene correspondent, Mike Cole, bringing you all the wine happenings in and around the great state of Texas. If you are a subscriber to the podcast, thank you so much for returning and tuning in to this week's episode. And if you are new to the podcast, thank you for stopping by to check us out. We are an information-based podcast supporting and sharing wine events, tastings, and industry news from around the great state of Texas. So I hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please consider subscribing and sharing the podcast with all your wine-loving friends. It helps to continue to spread the word about the podcast and keeps everyone informed about current wine-related events. Also, please follow me on my socials at Texas Wine Scene on Instagram and Texas Wine Scene on Facebook, where you will see all the posts about upcoming events for the weekend. So let's check out what's going on in the Texas Wine Scene news. In a recent article in the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, Alana Edgen highlights a new partnership with Bingham Family Vineyards and H-E-B, honoring the memory of their son, Blake Eddie Bingham. Bingham Family Vineyards is an important player in the success of the Texas wine industry. They've been growing and selling grapes in Texas wineries for 20 years, as well as producing their own wine for over 10 years. Their son Blake was a kind and caring young man who unfortunately passed away at the age of 30 due to complications from COVID-19 in 2021. Sam Jennings, winemaker for Bingham Family Vineyards, is quoted as saying, "Everybody in the wine industry knew and loved Blake. When people came to pick up grapes or deliver wine, and all the events and trade shows, Blake was a ray of sunshine everywhere he went." To honor his legacy and kindness, in January of this year, the Binghams reached out to H-E-B with the idea of starting a partnership in creating a scholarship fund to support students studying viticulture and enology at both Texas Tech and Texas A&M universities. Charles Rivas, the wine buyer for H-E-B, said, "Supporting causes like this are at the heart of what we do here at H-E-B. When we can honor someone in that process, we get excited to share a story about someone that's had an impact with not just our industry, but the states." Bingham Family Vineyards produce a wine that is a 2019 blend of Tempranillo, Mourvedre, Dolcetto, and Carignan, and is aged for 24 months in French and American oak barrels. This bold red wine has notes of cherry, dried fig, and spices. With the assistance of Serendipity Wines as the distributor of this Texas red blend, the partnership between Bingham Family Vineyards and H-E-B will see that all proceeds go toward the Blake Eddie Bingham Scholarship Fund. Customers can find the Blake Eddie Scholarship wine at most Texas H-E-B locations in the dedicated Texas wine section or purchase online through the H-E-B website. You can also donate directly to the scholarship fund at texashillcountrywineries.org. In an article by John Lavenberg entitled "Texas Bishops Gives Guidelines for the Use of Wine at Mass and Prison," it outlines a new precedent allowing the entry of sacramental wine into the Texas state prisons institutions. On May 14, 2024, the Texas Catholic Conference of Bishops have published a new guideline to assist pastoral ministry staff in educating facility staff and creating better access to Mass for Texas state inmates. These guidelines help non-Catholics understand what sacramental wines represent and the reason for its necessary presence and use at a Mass within the correction facility. The guidelines will help address issues of the necessity of sacramental wine with the security guards and wardens who may not understand the need for the wine to enter the facility. The guidelines state that valid celebration of the Mass requires the use of a small amount of wine that need only be consumed by the priest. The guidelines also state that in cases where chaplain staff is responsible for providing wine to visiting priests, 2 ounces of sacramental wine will be provided in closed containers for each scheduled Mass. And finally, whenever necessary, wine must be stored behind 2 locked doors in a secure area inaccessible to inmates according to the guidelines. I personally believe that these new guidelines and the storage of the wine on the correctional facilities increase the potential theft and consumption by inmates and coercion for the acquisition of wine through facility staff members and employees. This is a story that will be interesting to follow up on in the future. In a recent press release in the Wine Industry Network Advisor, Carter Hospitality Group announced that Carter Creek Winery in the Texas Hill Country earned 8 awards, including 4 gold medals, 3 silvers, and 1 bronze at the 2024 Rodeo Uncorked International Wine Competition. The wine competition had over 2,800 entries, of which 539 were Texas wine entries. The 4 gold medal wines from Carter Creek Winery are the Reserve Texas Class Champion for their non-vintage peach sparkling wine from the Texas High Plains, their 2022 Sangiovese Plateau Red from the Texas High Plains, their Reserve Class Champion and Texas Class Champion for their non-vintage Tempranillo Sparkling Rosé from the Texas High Plains, and the Reserve Class Champion for their non-vintage Brut Sparkling Wine made with Chenin Blanc, Pinot Noir, and Chardonnay. Congratulations to Carter Creek Winery for wrangling up some well-deserved awards. An article recently published on the website ScienceX, a team of researchers from Texas A&M University and Florida A&M University and the San Antonio Botanical Gardens recently introduced Blanc du Soleil, a novel wine grape cultivar tailored specifically for the unique climate conditions well suited for warm grape growing regions such as Texas, Florida, and southeastern United States. Blanc du Soleil is engineered to withstand the Gulf Coast region's high humidity, intense heat, and disease pressures. This cultivar also demonstrates exceptional resilience and vigor, ensuring consistent yields and superior fruit quality. So keep an eye out for this new grape variety coming to a winery near you. In a subsequent press release in the Wine Industry Network Advisor, the Sicilian natural box wine brand Alileo has expanded distribution into Texas, New York, and New Hampshire, as well as Vermont. Alileo was featured on NBC's Today Show as a top wine for a summer backyard wine party and named among the best boxed wines by media outlets such as VinePair, Food and Wine, Men's Journal, and Decanter. Antonio Bortone, co-founder of Alileo, said, "We're proud to be bringing Alileo directly to consumers in Texas, New York, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Alileo is a Sicilian natural bag-in-the-box wine brand using traditional methods of wine production with varietals from the west coast of Sicily. Those varietals include Zabibbo, Maserato, Young Grillo, Syrah, and Rosato Brizzanto. Due to the similar warm and hot climate conditions, be on the lookout for these interesting grape varieties in the future vineyards of Texas." Rob Williams in the Texas A&M AgriLife announced in a recent article that they will be hosting a prospective grape growers workshop to be held Saturday, June 8th from 8 to 3 p.m. at the Texas A&M AgriLife Research and Extension Center in Lubbock, Texas. The program is for producers who are thinking about starting a vineyard or those who have a vineyard established and are new to the Texas wine industry. The workshop will be led by viticultural specialist Dr. Patrick O'Brien and Daniel Hillen. The topics to be discussed in the workshop include Texas wine industry overviews, site selection and testing, vineyard establishment, disease and pest management, and vineyard economics. This sounds like a great workshop and one that will help continue the growth of the Texas wine grape growing industry. And that's your Texas Wine Scene News.
Breaking news.
As of the recording of this episode, social media posts lit up with the news that owners Chris and Jennifer Cobb of Kuhlman Cellars in Fredericksburg has sold their beloved winery to Brian and Jennifer Heath of Heath Family Brands. In a statement released to its wine club members, the Cobbs wrote, "It's been a decade of remarkable experiences. However, it's now time to hand the reins over to new stewards and let them take what we've built and begin the next chapter. We haven't taken this decision lightly, as we deeply care about our team and our community and wanted to find a similar caring team to pass the baton." The statement goes on to read, "We are proud to announce Kuhlman Cellars will be under new ownership of our neighbors on Highway 90, Brian and Jennifer Heath." Kuhlman Cellars opened to the public in October of 2014, deriving its name from the Kuhlman Creek, which originates on their family farm and ultimately empties into the Pedernales River. The estate vineyard is planted to Mourvèdre, Marsanne, Aglianico, Roussanne, and Carignan. Heath Family Brands owns Grape Creek Vineyards, the oldest winery on 290, Gin Blossom Cellars, Heath Sparkling Wines, and Invention Vineyards. In October of 2022, Heath Family Brands made headlines with its strategic acquisition of Invention Vineyards, formerly known as Slate Mill Wine Collective, a visionary project with an investment exceeding $10 million. Heath Family Brands owns 60 acres of estate vineyards in Fredericksburg, including 25 acres at Grape Creek and an expansive 35 acres at Invention Vineyards. There were mixed feelings amongst the social media posts. Many were not happy with the acquisition of the Texas-based winery and their experience at Grape Creek, while others were not so quick to judge or speak negatively about the acquisition. Two industry leaders, Katie Jane Seaton of Farmhouse Vineyards and Jeff Cope of the Texas Wine Lover website and Texas Wine Lover app, commented a bit more positively about the acquisition. Katie Jane wrote, "Frankly, I'm thankful that a sale took place to a Texas owner with proven business models who purchases Texas fruit and has for years." She goes on to comment, "We've allowed incredibly divisive issues and agendas to lead our narrative and efforts in the last 12 years to a severe and segmented current industry status." She also writes, "If you need to feel fancy and elegant, Miguel Lecuona and his badass Barbara Lecuona of Siboney Cellars would love to have you." Jeff Cope mentions an article written by Amy Nemick about the growth and future of Heath Family Brands on TexasWineLover.com and also comments more positively that Kuhlman Cellars makes Texas wine, so that's a good thing that Heath Family Brands is adding them. We will keep an eye and an ear out for the latest on this developing Texas wine industry news. Before we continue our mini-series on the top red and white grape varieties in Texas, let's do a quick recap of the first 3 red grape varieties we covered previously. Tempranillo, which is the little early one, also known as Sensibel, Tinto Fino, and Tinto da País in Spain, and Aragonés or Tinto Roriz in Portugal. Tempranillo is a native grape variety of Spain. Tempranillo is also a cross between Albillo Mayor and Benedicto. It has a serious problem with pests and disease in the vineyard. Tempranillo has a large percentage of grapes grown in the Texas High Plains AVA. Tempranillo likes limestone soils. And Tempranillo's fruit profile includes cherry, plum, tomato, dried fig, vanilla, and dill. Mourvèdre, also known as Mataro or Monastrell, is from the Mediterranean coast of Spain. It prefers warm weather, tendency to both bud late and ripen late. It likes its face in the hot sun and its feet in the water. It also likes clay soils, and its fruit profile is deeply colored red fruit with earthy and spicy notes and very high tannins and alcohol. And Sangiovese. Its name comes from the Latin word sanguis Jovis, the blood of Jupiter, and is commonly associated with Tuscany. Sangiovese is a cross between Ciligiolo and Calabrese Montenuvo. Sangiovese demands extra care in the vineyards, and Sangiovese in the Texas Hill Country has a similar growing environment, much like that of the rolling hills of Tuscany. The fruit profile of Sangiovese is violet, tea leaf, sour cherry, plum, spicy aromas, and high acidity and tannins. Syrah is next on our list as one of the most popular red grape varieties grown in Texas. Syrah, also known as Shiraz in Australia, is a dark-skinned red grape variety whose origins are traced back to the northern Rhone Valley of France. Syrah is a cross between Dureza and Mondouze Blanche. Syrah likes gravel, sandy, limestone-rich soils, and when grown in hot climates like Texas, Syrah is more consistently full-bodied with dark and jammy fruits such as blueberries, blackberries, and black cherry, with softer tannin and spicy black pepper notes. Syrah is highly regarded for its capabilities as a blending grape as well. It pairs exceptionally well with a variety of grapes including Cabernet Sauvignon, Grenache, and Mourvedre, contributing the creation of a complex and well-rounded wine. Tune in next week as we take a look at another top red Texas grape variety called Montepulciano. Before we get into the wine events for the weekend, let's check the weather. The Texas High Plains wine growing region is going to have high temperatures of 91 degrees with low temperatures of 61 degrees. The North Texas wine growing region will have high temperatures of 85 degrees with low temperatures of 69 degrees. The West Texas wine growing region will have high temperatures of 92 degrees with low temperatures of 61 degrees. The Texas Hill Country wine growing region will have high temperatures of 89 degrees with low temperatures of 67 degrees. And the Gulf Coast wine growing region will have high temperatures of 91 degrees with low temperatures of 74 degrees. Join Archway Winery in Fredericksburg for their Meet the Author event on Sunday, June 2nd from 1 to 3 p.m. This will be an exciting opportunity to meet author Dr. Ron Martinelli, a Fredericksburg native and certified medical investigator, as he speaks firsthand about some of his incredible accounts of investigating crimes and serving justice and how these experiences inspired him to create the fascinating tale of Wade Justice, a fictional series inspired by his life's work. For more information on this event, visit their website at archwayresort.com. The Taste of Addison event is happening this weekend, Friday, May 31st from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m., Saturday, June 1st from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., and Sunday, June 2nd from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. This year, the iconic festival is leaning into the arts, with the culinary arts including local top-notch Addison restaurants. The performing arts feature national headliners, and the visual arts that will provide both creative and immersive experiences. Eats, beats, and artistic treats combine to make for a family-friendly weekend that includes an experience for every vibe. Wind down in the courtyard with live entertainment, wine tastings, and a gorgeous ambiance right in Addison Circle Park. For more information on this event, visit tasteaddisonTexas.com. Head on out to the Woodlands in the Houston area for the 20th Annual Wine and Food Week presented by H-E-B, starting Monday, June 3rd through Sunday, June 9th. Treat your family like friends and your friends like family as you celebrate one of the nation's top culinary and wine events spanning a full week of offerings. There will be over 500 wines, 60 chefs from across the globe, and the Chef of Chefs competition. There will be 4 major events to choose from during this year's Wine and Food Week. Event 1, Around the World Wednesday, June 5th from 5:45 to 9 p.m. In this wine hopping excursion, you will meet with knowledgeable wine experts who will be on hand to walk you through the wines, exploring the wine industry in the country of its origin. Each winery will have its own room, and you will rotate from room to room at a specific time. This will be a great way to taste the many different wines of the world. Event 2, Get Frosted at Rosé Way, Thursday, June 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. This event will feature rosé wines, sparkling wines, and trending sweet wines, while guests enjoy getting up close and personal with 2 fashion shows. If glitz and glamour is your jam, then this event is for you. Event 3, which is the Ladies of the Vine, tasting, luncheon, and panel discussion on Friday, June 7th from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Balanced, bright, complex, nouveau, and unfiltered are all words that are used to describe incredible wines and incredible women. Join the bright women of the wine world as they share their complex talents in an unfiltered panel discussion that provides an intimate glimpse into their personal journey within the wine industry. This event will feature our very own Karen Bonarigo, Chief Administrative Officer and co-owner at Messina Hoff Winery. And finally, Event 4, the Wine Rendezvous Grand Tasting and Chef Showcase on Saturday, June 8th from 7 to 10 p.m. This upscale event presents guests with the opportunity to slip into their finest attire and be in the company of serious wine enthusiasts and outstanding culinary talent, all while sipping on world-class wines. For more information on this event, visit wineandfoodweek.com. Head on up to the park at Lake Louisville for the 9th Annual Craft Brew and K Festival on Saturday, June 1st from 4 to 10 p.m. The festivities include beer and wine tastings from national award-winning breweries and Texas wineries, incredible Texas bands, and barbecue tastings from pit masters from across the state of Texas. There will be plenty of shopping from local vendors and an amazing fireworks show at the conclusion of the event. Your ticket purchase includes 12 2-ounce samples of beer and a commemorative pint glass, 20 1-ounce samples or 5-ounce glasses of wine, over 45 wine selections will be available, and live music from some of the best bands in Texas, such as the Drew Fish Band at 4 p.m., followed by Slade Coulter at 5:30 p.m., and ending with the headliner Treaty Oak Revival at 7:30 p.m. For more information on this event, visit lakefrontlittlelm.com. Join the Blue Lotus Winery in Seguin for their specialty mead and cheese pairing event on Saturday, June 1st from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Come out and enjoy an evening experience in the optimal flavors between mead and cheese. Individual charcuterie plates, complete with additional cheese, nuts, fruits, crackers, and sausage, are all included with your ticket purchase. For more information on this event, visit their website at bluelotuswinery.com. You can never have too many hats, so how about heading on over to Lost Oak Winery in Burleson, Texas for their hat party event on Wednesday, June 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. Grab a friend and enjoy a night of fun as you create your very own hat from brim to bling. Guests will select their hat from a variety of choices, choose the band and accessories, and Lost Oak Winery will burn a design of your choice to make the hat uniquely yours. For more information on this stylish event, visit their website at lostoakwinery.com. School may be out for the kiddos, but wine education is in for the adults. So how about expanding your wine knowledge by enrolling in a wine education course? I'm excited to share a few upcoming wine certification courses that are happening over the next few weeks. The Hill Country Wine Academy in Stonewall, Texas, is starting a new cohort this week for their Texas Wine Ambassador certification on Monday, June 3rd from 9 to 5 p.m. The Texas Wine Ambassador certification course is a one-of-a-kind course only provided by the Hill Country Wine Academy. By taking this course, you will build a foundational knowledge of wine, focusing on Texas wine theory and with the intention of developing service techniques that aim to sustain the Texas wine industry during the era of growth. In this one-day course, you will gain the skills to identify core themes of growing grapes in Texas, navigate the personal experience of tasting wine, and combat the misconception about Texas wine. A pen and certificate are awarded after receiving a passing score on a 30-question multiple choice exam, which requires 60% to pass. For more information about this course, visit their website at info@hcwineacademy.com. Join High Meadow Winery in Hyde, Texas for their Wine Fest education exhibit on Saturday, June 8th from 11 to 5 p.m. This is one of their most exclusive events to date. Wine Fest will include an in-depth production and vineyard tour with owner and winemaker Mike Batek, a class on how to systematically taste wine professionally, a food and wine pairing course, and a vertical flight of high metal red wine. This is a comprehensive wine education course you don't want to miss. For more information on this course, visit their website at highmetal.com. The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service will host a workshop for prospective grape growers on Saturday, June 8th from 8 to 3 p.m. at the Texas A&M AgriLife Research and Extension Center in Lubbock, Texas. The program is for producers who are thinking about starting a vineyard or for those who have a vineyard established and new to the grape growing industry. Viticultural specialist Dr. Patrick O'Brien and Daniel Hillen will lead the course and cover topics such as a Texas wine industry overview, site selection and testing, vineyard establishment, disease and pest management, and vineyard economics. The deadline to register for this course is June 5th. For more information and registration, contact R.J. Scott at tamu.edu. The Fredericksburg Wine School, in partnership with Six Twist, Vino Cadre, and Covington Cellars, is having their Wine Wise education course on Monday, June 10th from 11 to 2 p.m. at Covington Cellars in Hyde, Texas. This is an unparalleled learning experience tailored specifically for wine professionals, tasting room staff, and winemakers. This comprehensive course delves deeper than a Wine 101 course, exploring vineyard influences, winemaking decisions, and much, much more. For more information on this event, visit covingtoncellars.com. If you are looking for a wine certification course with a strict and in-depth focus on Texas wine and Texas wine industry, then look no further than the Specialist of Texas Wine Certification course developed and taught by Dr. Russ Kane. So head on now to Ursa at Branch on High in Comfort, Texas on Monday, June 17th from 9 to 4 p.m. for the Specialist of Texas Wine Certification Class Level 1. Specialist of Texas Wine course is a first-of-its-kind program that offers a comprehensive series of classes featuring the unique wines and wine regions of Texas. This learning and tasting program feature important topics critical to the success of today's wine professionals and savvy consumers. Topics covered in this course include introduction to the industry, geology and soils, climate, and comparisons to other wine regions, Texas AVA details and labeling of Texas wine, and history and evolution of Texas wine industry and wine styles. For more information and registration for this event, visit bendingbranchwinery.com. And if you've already taken the Specialist of Texas Wine Level 1 course, and you are ready to dig a bit deeper into Texas wine, then return to Ursa at Branch on High in Comfort, Texas on Monday, June 24th and 25th from 9 to 4 p.m. for the Specialist of Texas Wine Level 2 Advanced course. The Advanced course extends the series of classes that were initiated in Level 1, but feature more in-depth information on the wine regions of Texas, their characteristics, and their unique wine styles. The topics covered in this course include the details of TV Munson's role and impact on the global wine industry, a deeper dive into Texas wine regions, a focus on starting a vineyard in Texas, and access to an exclusive archive of one-on-one videos with Texas grape growers, winemakers, and winery owners. So get your tickets soon. The classes will sell out quickly due to the limited number of slots. For more information and registration for this event, visit bendingbranchwinery.com. And those are your wine events for the weekend. Stay tuned for your music lineup for the weekend up next. The Texas Wine Collective in Fredericksburg gets the music lineup started this week with Sam Williams on stage Saturday, June 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. Fiesta Winery on 290 will have Steve Feinstein on stage Saturday, June 1st from 3 to 6 p.m. Fiesta Winery at the Bend location will host Justin Cole on stage Saturday, June 1st from 1 to 4 p.m. and James Hearn on Sunday, June 2nd from 12:30 to 4:30 p.m. Arch Ray Winery in Fredericksburg will let Noah Curtis jam out on Saturday, June 1st from 4 to 7 p.m. Pedernales Cellars in Stonewall will have Bruce Smith on stage Saturday, June 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. Torna Locks in Burnett will have Wake Eastman on stage Saturday, June 1st from 2 to 5 p.m. Lone Star Wine Cellars in McKinney will host Tex Carroll on Friday, May 31st from 8 to 11 p.m. Barons Creek Vineyards in Fredericksburg will let Jeff Wood assume the musical duties on Saturday, June 1st from 1 to 4 p.m. Dove Ridge Winery in Weatherford, Texas will have Tom Fleischer on stage Saturday, June 1st from 2 to 5 p.m. Parmesan Wines in Dripping Springs will have the beautifully talented Beth Lee on stage Saturday, June 1st from 2 to 5 p.m. and Sid Grimes on Sunday, June 2nd from 2 to 5 p.m. as well. Moody Family Wines in Bullard, Texas will host Heather Harper on stage Saturday, June 1st at 6 p.m. Bernhardt Winery in Plantersville will let Bobby Enlow raise the roof on Saturday, June 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. and Texas Floyd will perform a Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute on Sunday, June 2nd from 7 to 9 p.m. Bell Springs Winery in Dripping Springs will have Sam Pace on stage Saturday, June 1st from 3 to 6 p.m. Dry Comel Creek Vineyards in New Braunfels will have John Parmentier on stage Sunday, June 2nd from 2 to 5 p.m. William Chris Vineyards in High will have Jenny Del Lord on stage on both Saturday and Sunday, June 1st and 2nd from 1 to 4 p.m. Texas Hill Vineyards in Johnson City will host Zach Schaefer on stage Saturday, June 1st from 1 to 4 p.m. West Sandy Creek Winery in Richards, Texas will have Matt Nestor on stage June 1st from 4 to 7 p.m. and Krista Jean on Sunday, June 2nd from 2 to 5 p.m. Augusta Vin Winery in Fredericksburg will have their Sips and Sounds event with DV Jazz on stage Friday, May 31st from 3 to 6 p.m., followed by Andy Garcia on stage Sunday, June 2nd from 3 to 6 p.m. as well. Texas Heritage Vineyards in Fredericksburg will have Christy and Josh Greider on stage Sunday, June 2nd from 2 to 4 p.m. Signor Vineyards in Fredericksburg will host a very popular Bernie Martini on stage Saturday, June 1st from 1 to 3 p.m. and Sheridan Reed on Sunday, 1 to 3 p.m. as well. Los Pinos Ranch Vineyards in Pittsburgh, Texas will have Owen Tyner on stage Saturday, June 1st from 6 to 9 p.m. Triple N Ranch Vineyards in Trinidad will have tribute concerts featuring music from Elton John, Johnny Cash, Tom Petty, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Hootie and the Blowfish on Saturday, June 1st from 7 to 9:30 p.m. Valley Mills Vineyards in Waco will host Thomas Sorbus on stage Friday, May 31st at 6 p.m. Firelight Vineyards in Valley View will have Forever Mac on stage performing a Fleetwood Mac tribute on Saturday, June 1st at 7 p.m. Lost Oak Winery in Burleson will have their Concert on the Lawn event with State of Mind taking the stage on Saturday, June 1st from 6 to 9 p.m. And Kai Simone Winery in Spring Branch will close out the music lineup for the weekend with Tasha Jackson on stage June 1st from 2:30 to 5 p.m. And that's your music lineup for the weekend. Stay tuned for Did You Know? In recent social media posts, wine consumers, wine enthusiasts, and wine growers shared videos of extremely large hailstones that undoubtedly destroyed or significantly damaged several vineyards across the state. I saw reports of baseball-sized hail, and that got me wondering, how in the world does that size of hailstones develop, and what is the ultimate impact on this year's crop and those of the future? Well, Dr. Jamie Good, a wine journalist and world-renowned wine educator, helped to shed some light on the subject of hail in his global wine journal, The Wine Anorak. Hail forms in tall clouds with strong upward air motion called updrafts. These are most often cumulonimbus clouds that are dense, towering vertical clouds that are very wide. What happens is that inside the cloud, water droplets rise with the updrafts and they then become supercooled. This means that they are still in the liquid phase but are below 0 degrees Celsius or 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Water can go well below freezing in the supercooled state without forming ice if there are no nucleation sites present. But in these clouds, there are nucleation sites in the form of dust particles or pollen in the atmosphere. Ice forms around these dust and pollen particles, and the hailstones begin to take shape. When these hailstones, which grow in size as they rise in the vertical cloud, become heavy enough, they fall to the ground, wreaking havoc on everything in its path. Grapes can be obliterated, causing disease to develop, branches broken, leaves shredded, and trunks bruised. So what can a vineyard owner do to stop or mitigate the damage of a hailstorm? Well, the first thing a grape grower needs to do is locate the offending clouds. This can be done by using a Doppler radar machine, which can be very expensive. Once the clouds are located, the technique of choice is to try to stop damaging hail from forming in the first place. In the process called cloud seeding, a substance called silver iodide is introduced into the vertical clouds by various means which cause further nucleation. The result is more hail formation, but the hailstones are much smaller and will melt before they get to the ground level. There are different ways of getting the nucleation material into the clouds. One common method is to have a network of generators that heat up the silver iodide so it rushes upwards and it's taken up into the updraft. Another is to use rockets fired into the cloud from the ground or to seed the clouds from an airplane. A further technique is to use helium balloons, which rise into the cloud and then release the nucleating material at the right altitude. But most grape growers don't have the ability or access to the equipment or silver iodide material to perform cloud seeding. So what is a more practical solution for the typical grape farmer? Bird netting. Bird netting is a simple solution that covers the grapes in the fruit zone and prevents the hail from pelting the grapes. This solution can be expensive depending on the size of the vineyard, but it's less expensive than the Doppler radar and silver iodide solution. By the way, did you know that silver iodide is a medical antiseptic remedy that treats inflammatory infections of the mucous membranes of the eyes, ears, and nose? In my opinion, Silver iodide solution should be the treatment of choice in either circumstance. The grape growers either use silver iodide to prevent the hail or use silver iodide to treat the eye infections after many tears shed looking at destroyed vineyards. Well, let's hope we don't have to worry about damaged vineyards and positively think about the delicious wine that we will enjoy made from the vineyards that survived. Well, that will do it for this week's episode. Thank you for joining me. I'm Mike Cole, your Texas wine scene correspondent, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Texas Wine Scene. Cheers. For more in-depth information on the wineries mentioned in this episode, visit the Texas Wine Lover website at txwinelover.com or the Texas Wine Lover app. There you will be able to find a vast amount of information about Texas wineries and wine-related businesses. You can search for information such as winery hours, grape varieties, food options, pet and kid-friendly wineries, and much, much more. So visit their website at txwinelover.com. That's txwinelover.com. Also, please leave us a review and share the podcast with all your wine-loving friends. Cheers.